My point is that any of these items on any agenda, someone could stand up and be duly recognized at the beginning of a meeting and just go down the list without any reports, as long as they were not public hearings requiring that process, and say, I move this, this, and this, and go down the entire list. We would have no requirement for any presentation, any substantive presentation on the issue by city staff. I would argue that this case for consideration tonight has not even been presented to the City Council. Therefore, the rationale for putting forward a motion is moot.
Madam Mayor, my comments have only to do with procedure. If we get into the business of the chair cutting off members because I don't want a motion right now, and this is not the first time it's happened, but in the past members of this body have allowed it, I think we're going down a rocky road. My comments have nothing to do with what's before us. It has to do with protecting a recognized council member's ability to say what he wishes to say, as Robert's Rules of Order apparently says he can do. I have no idea what Dan's motion is going to be, and he may not get a second. If a member is recognized and makes a motion to pass the entire agenda, and we're going to go home right now, then I would be shocked if they could get a second, much less an affirmative vote to do it.
I would like to make a motion that we approve the ordinance under suspension of the rules requiring 3 complete and separate readings, and that it be read by title and published by summary.
We've had a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have Wayne's second. The council's prerogative here is to pass this with no discussion or to disallow it.
Madam Mayor, at this point, you normally ask for discussion.
I am. I'm using chair's prerogative to let people know what the conversation is. I actually don't even have to do that, but Sue, go ahead.
I'm in favor of the motion. However, I would like to hear Mr. Reedner's presentation first.
Yeah.
That's
Tom?
my discussion point.
I'm definitely supporting the motion. I just would prefer to do that after, there's the horse and cart thing. I just wanted to hear from Gary. And I also wanted to hear if there were any other folks in the audience that wanted to speak to it. So.
Yeah, I think it's a slap in the face to the value of the issue at hand for the council. Just say, we're too anxious to go home. We just want this done. And I think that's too bad.
I don't think that's how the motion was framed. I would like to hear from Gary, too.
Well, that's not part of the motion. The motion is to pass this. So,
they would like to hear from Gary,
would you like to modify your motion, Dan?
I'd like to hear from Gary.
It doesn't require modification, Mayor. We ask questions of staff all the time during discussion after
The motion is to pass the ordinance under suspension of the rules requiring 3 complete and separate readings, and it be read by title and published by summary.
Yes, ma'am. And when you call for discussion, we discuss, and quite often we ask staff for comment. And and at least 3 of us
I'd like Dan
have
to
said we'd like to
his
hear from
motion.
I'd
staff.
like to hear from staff. I don't think I need to modify the motion because
I would like you to do that, please.
I'd asking Gary to go ahead and give his report.
And Wayne, the seconder, do you want to report?
Is that a motion?
No.
No, I just want to hear the report.
Okay, we'll start the roll call vote with you. Dan?
To hear the report?
No way. You just asked for this thing to be moved along.
Well, if that's what you'd like, aye.
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 Okay, the motion carries. We have ordinance number 2013-6, an ordinance of the City of Moscow. Let me find that here. A municipal corporation of the State of Idaho providing for the amendment of Moscow City Code Title 10 by the addition of Chapter 19 to prohibit discriminatory acts in housing, employment, and public accommodations based upon sexual orientation and or gender expression identity as defined, providing that the provisions of this ordinance be deemed severable, and providing that this ordinance to be in full force and effect from the date of its passage, approval, and publication according to law. And I'll just add that I think it's unfortunate that Moscow will be poked fun at again for its means of adopting something as vitally important as this. We have made history in the state of Idaho again.